Aloha everyone on YouTube and across internet cyberspace. Thank you for tuning into my video. This is a WatchBox review of the Invicta Pro Diver Offshore model number 4793. So as you see the watch here positioned on my 60mm wide wrist, it sits very flat and is very comfortable. Okay, so let's hammer out the technical details and get going here. Alrighty, so let's talk about the overall case size first, and then we'll transition over into my subjective preferences towards the latter half of this review. So anyways, the lug-end to lug-end dimension is 56mm from end to end. The case width is 50mm going across, including the crown. The bezel diameter is a 47mm diameter bezel, and the crown diameter is a 7mm diameter crown. Case thickness is 15mm thick, and as I mentioned before, there's not a whole lot of case curvature at all to the shape of the watch. The lug width is a standard 24mm across, and the bracelet itself tapers down to 22mm at the clasp. The crystal window opening on the front is 36mm across, and it is a slightly domed crystal shape to that front crystal. Okay, taking a close look at the case back, it's a standard screw-in type case back. This is a 300-meter or 30 ATM water pressure resistant timepiece, and the screw-in case back has name and model number designations around the perimeter. And the most interesting thing about it is the exhibition case window on the back that shows off the Citizen Miota 8215 automatic movement. The crystal used on this watch was at a time prior to Invicta switching over to the Flame Fusion proprietary crystal. So this is a hardened mineral crystal that you're looking at. I'm not going to go into detail about the Citizen Miota 8215, but just maybe 2 or 3 key points. First of all, it is a manual winding crown that you have the option to wind your mainspring with. It is also obviously an automatic movement that winds using the wind rotor that you see there. Okay, so the movement itself has 30 to 35 hours of time power reserve, and it takes about 25 twists of the crown to fully wind the mainspring. You don't have to worry about over-winding the mainspring because there's a built-in clutch mechanism inside the movement to slip and prevent you from over-winding the mainspring. Okay, the crown itself on this case is a screw-down crown to help seal out and maintain water resistance. Okay, the last thing I want to say about the Miota 8215 is it is a non-hacking movement, so you cannot pause the motion of that second sweeping hand when you set your time. Okay, so turning things over to the front side of the dial, mine is the black sunray dial finish, although here inside this conference room you can't really see that sunray dial, but outdoors and out in the sun it really pops, and it's really nicely done. The dial indicators around the perimeter used are applied stainless steel indicators that are filled with Invicta's own Tritonite proprietary luminescent paint. The hands likewise are polished stainless steel, and they are also accented with Tritonite luminescent paint, as you can see that sweeping second hand go around. Okay, the date window is a pretty straightforward affair. It's a black on white date window. I would have preferred a white on black, but you know, black on white is what they chose. So, the unidirectional rotating bezel is a 120 click variety, and it's got a nicely done coin edge around that. That's very easy to grip and very easy to turn. So you're seeing mine here. Mine is a 2-year-old watch that I basically beat the snot out of, and somewhere along the line I lost my glow-in-the-dark indicator at the 00 position. So on that note, you might see some scratches here all around the bracelet and the crystal. I've worn this watch, you know, in and out of the Pacific Ocean, shoreline swimming with my kids, water slide parks, banging all over the place. So this is a pretty severely used watch at this point in time. So let's see, let's dim the lights and take a quick look at the glow-in-the-dark lume. Okay, I'm back, and here we go. Let's charge up the lume a little bit. Oh, bad timing. Let me try and relocate the hands a little bit so you can see that. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now let's glow everything up nicely, get everything glowing nicely here. And, okay, good enough. Okay, there you go. Pretty straightforward affair. For what it's worth, this is my dimmest and worst glowing Invicta Pro Diver. For whatever reason, I'm not sure why, for some reason the Tritonite blend of paint that they use on this dial is pretty severely inferior to some of my other Pro Divers. You can see there my camera is having a slightly difficult time picking up the minimal illumination that's on there. Okay, and the other thing too I don't like is there is basically minimal or no distinction between the hour and the minute hand. As you can see there, it's basically a guess pretty much. So the watch is styled heavily after the Omega Planet Ocean, and I think they probably should have done a better job in sticking with that convention with little arrow indicators at the end of the minute and the hour hands. So, okay, so let's go turn the lights back on. Alrighty, and we're back here in the light of day, and I bought this watch, like I said, 2 years ago. I bought it from shopnbc.com, and I think I got a lot of watch for the $90 I spent for it. You can still find this watch like online on eBay and things like that. So the watch was discontinued maybe right about that time, maybe 2 years ago. So I think you're getting a lot of watch for just not a lot of money in that sense. You're getting a very nicely done application of the Citizen Miyota 8215 automatic workhorse. So I guess if I had my key complaints, they would be, number one, the rattle clasp. A lot of fold over clasps just rattle like crazy, and so when you're wearing the watch it really detracts from what is otherwise a very high quality watch, I think. Second thing would be the loom. I mentioned that earlier just a minute ago. The loom basically stinks. But other than that, I mean, some of the key points, hey, it's a nicely styled watch. Obviously if you can't afford an Omega Planet Ocean, you might want to consider this version of the Pro Diver. Okay, and it's a 300 meters water resistant timepiece, 30 ATMs of case pressure resistance, so that's a nice thing too. That's a step up in the right direction. And it's got a very nicely done 4.5 millimeter thick bracelet, solid links throughout. So really nicely done bracelet. The bracelet itself, I prefer friction split pins. I've never had a friction split pin fail. I've never had one come loose. I have had screws in my bracelets unscrew themselves by themselves. So it's a nicely done bracelet in that sense. I just wish it came with a better scissor clasp or a more robust clasp that didn't rattle quite so much. Okay, so anyhow, that's pretty much it here. This is a review of the Invicta Pro Diver Offshore, model number 4793. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll catch you later. I got some more watch reviews to upload, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks.